Hi guys, welcome to another video. You know I'm Kathy and you are watching It's Kathy and Us. And like always, if you would like to be part of the Us, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your post notifications. That way you guys are notified every time I upload a new video. I hope that you guys are taking very good care of yourselves, because this quarantine stuff, this coronavirus stuff it's no joke. In LA, we are all always on the go and we don't have time for our family and friends sometimes. Everyone is just always so busy with their daily routines that we forget to just kind of stop, breathe, and live the moment. Today, I am gonna finish doing my makeup and I am going to tell you guys about the time that I got arrested. What happened, my experience, and yeah, if you're interested, just keep on watching, okay? This happened a few years ago and I was still in my early 20s, I just don't remember. We used to do this thing where when it was one of my aunt's cousins or whatever sister's birthday, we would all get together, all the girls, and we would go out to like this restaurant to celebrate. I believe it was actually a Friday when this happened. And of course, you know, I was not about to go out without having my nails done, right? I used to go to this nail shop that was on Western and Washington. Crenshaw and Washington before, because I used to live around there. So I don't remember exactly when I lost it, but I know that I did not have my driving privileges like intact. But I was driving almost every day. It doesn't matter that I'm saying this now because I already did my time. I had to pay the court so much money throughout the years that, like, goodness, I probably would have owned a house by now maybe. And yes, that was my fault, that was my bad, and I was dumb, and I advise you guys to not do that. I advise that you do not drive without your license, because it's not a good idea. You end up paying more than you should. It's easier to just get your license and to drive responsibly than to just like lose it. And no, I did not lose my driving privileges because of a DUI or anything like that, but it was because I got tickets and stuff, right? Just for you guys that are curious, I'm using this palette today. Maybe like I should have been a little bit smarter, because you know, you always get this like, I had like this premonition, or I just had this gut feeling that maybe my sister should drive, but I did not listen to that. And I got in the car and I was like, I think I told my sister like there's cops right there. I could see from like my rear view mirror, I was like, oh my god, these are going to want to stop me for no reason. My sister now, at this point, she's kind of like panicking and she's like, if you want, I'll drive. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Keep in mind, I'm like, dude, we're only going like a block away. What's the big deal? I make a right, you know, like, but before making the right, I tried to, of course, kind of like slow down. And I could see from the rear view mirror that they are following us, and for no reason. And you could tell that he's like putting something in the computer, but I'm trying to pretend like I'm not looking, because if they catch me looking, they're gonna be like, what is this little girl hiding? They just wanted to like stop somebody. They had been there for a while and they hadn't accomplished that. So I honestly don't know why I didn't just pull to the side and park my car, okay? Because I was basically already home. There was nothing they could have stopped me for. So my dumbass should have just pulled over, parked the car, and like, see you later, alligator type of thing, you know? Do you think that's what happened? No. Why did my dumbass, after having this gut feeling, decide not to stop there? Because I didn't want them to know where I live. So instead of parking, I kept driving down towards Pico. And on Pico, I'm gonna make a left, okay? So of course, I pulled to my left lane. I put my left blinkers and I proceed. Right at that moment, they turn on their lights. For no reason. I did not give you a reason to stop me. I was doing everything correctly. And here I am. I cannot question them, because I'm like, fuck, I don't want any issues, because obviously I know that I do not have my license. Okay, ma'am, can you pull down your window? Here goes Kathy. Now my sister is like worried. She's like panicking. She's like, dude, just say that I'm pregnant, say that I couldn't drive, so you're driving for me. Right across the street from where like Ross and all of that stuff is, there's a Rouse, a CVS, and like, or a Ray, I don't know what I think it is a CVS. He's like, what are you ladies up to?
The next thing, we're on our way to CVS because my sister doesn't feel well, so I decided to drive for her because she's having some pain, and so she's just trying to go get some medicine at CVS, and then we're gonna go home.
He was like, oh, okay.
Can I see your license?
I would give it to you if I had it, but I don't have it, so I can't give it to you.
Okay, do you know why I stopped you?
Yes, because you're a... No, sir, I do not know why you stopped me. May you please explain why you are not looking for murderers, thieves, I don't know, any other type of criminal instead of me? I cracked myself up. The point is that I just gave her a look like, don't worry. And she looks like she's about to cry. She looks like she doesn't know what to do. Feel like she said one word to him, and then I was like, just be quiet, doesn't matter. Point is that the guy come to the car now, and there he was like, he tells her, oh, she doesn't have her license. It's like, oh, you know, we want to make sure that like no one else stops you, and then it's something worse can happen. What the hell is worse than going to jail? The fact that I did not have my license was one thing. The fact that I had a warrant is another. That was my fault. That is my fault. That was my fault. That will forever be my fault. Okay, so now I have to step out of the vehicle, and I have to put my hands behind my back and be embarrassed because there are people across the street that I know at a barbershop. There are people that I know that work at the Tom's right there on the other side. I am just having the time of my life, putting my hands behind my back so that you can handcuff me and take me in. Like, I was not driving obnoxiously or anything like that. Cheers. I just wanted to like, honestly, I am going to be in jail for at least 3 days because when I am not about, honestly, I was not about to pay that fucking bail amount money, because what the fuck, that's a waste of money sometimes, to my opinion, when I know that I'm about to get out the moment I see a judge on like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So I'm like, what's 5 days, okay? On the other hand, I was like, oh my god, I have work on Monday, it is Friday. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be the first ones on the list to go to see a judge, so I probably won't be released till like Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. We get to the station, and of course they walk me in and they ask questions, and now the other officers are looking at these officers like, oh, what is this about? And they explain, and even they looked at them like, you don't know how bad I wanted to just like fight him right there and then just be arrested for beating his ass. All my belongings, he had already like put them in a bag and like taken them, right? We're gonna have to escort you to downtown. I was in the back of the car and I was like being escorted to the towers, and I'm like, really? You were escorting me while you were on the phone, on the cell phone, laughing, giggling, like making jokes while this girl's trying to be very serious, but you're not allowing her to be serious and take her job how she needs to. You know what really pisses me off about all of this? That like, I didn't get to go over there, and you are doing this just because you want to be an asshole, not because I did something wrong, not because like anything else. It's just because you want to be an asshole and you have not done anything pretty much all day probably. Okay, so now let me finish telling you what happened. So he takes me over there. They ask me for my name, my birthday, like everything, you know, everything they need to ask you for you to check in or whatever. And I go, and then the guy's like, oh, why is he here? And then whatever, he explains. And then again, another person is like, okay. They take my picture, they take me in, and now I'm in a like, it's not a cell, but it's like this holding place where they hold you before they go and book you and give you like everything else. So you're there, and right there you're able to like make a call, right? So then I make a call, and I call, I think like my parents or something. I don't know who I called, but I called someone to tell them that like I wasn't there and I don't know what was gonna happen, but like just whatever it was, to make sure that they let my boss know that I was not gonna be able to go to work, and then like I would figure out the rest, you know? I wasn't gonna lie or anything like that, because why lie, like, you know? So I was like, just make sure that if you can, please make sure to tell my aunt I'm sorry, to have like an amazing birthday. I wish her the best, and you know, you guys have fun. I will keep them updated if I could, and I will call them, but not to worry, you know? Like, I wasn't gonna be calling them every, you know, 5 minutes. Like, collect calls are like expensive and stuff. And luckily at that time, when you're in that holding cell, those calls were free and are free. Some officer comes like later that day, and she's like, look, you're gonna have to see a judge because of your warrant, so you're not gonna be able to see the judge till maybe Monday, if not Monday, Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she's like, this is gonna be breakfast. So So I'm in this room with all these girls where there's like bunk beds, several bunk beds, and then there's like 2 floors, right? Up and down, if I'm not mistaken. Am I tripping? Ugh, I hope I'm not confusing the times, but the point is that like, I think it's just 1 floor. It was just, I think it's just 1 floor actually. I don't remember, but point is that in there it's like all type of people, different ethnicities and ages, you know, all of that. And so I was in there, and I want to say by the 2nd day, so I was booked on Friday, and then now Saturday, right? So all day, like, they give you your breakfast, your lunch, and it's like nasty, but whatever, who cares? That's a different story. I don't want to get into that. And like all this time I was sitting in my, like, I was laying on my bed, and I'm like talking to girls, you know, whatever, but I'm trying to keep to myself because I just don't want to, like, you know, I just didn't want to, and I was just like minding my own business. So I made sure to get the bunk all the way to the end, all the way by the wall, where I'm like alone, you know, like lonesome in a way. You know, everyone's asking each other like, why are you here, what's going on, blah 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 blah. There's like this girl that comes, and I noticed that she's like crying, and you could tell that she's like worried, because you could tell that she had not been there before. She did not belong there or anything like that. I don't know what she did, but she did something, right? So she was there. Later that day comes the older lady, okay? I don't remember her name, so I'm not gonna name her even if I did remember. So I just know that this lady, I want to say she was probably, I don't know, she was like a little bit older, probably like in 50s old. I don't know, that's just me taking a guess, I don't know, but I know she was like a whole ass woman, and she had kids and everything. But point is that she came in like this very beautiful like burgundy gown. It was like from, like, she was like coming from like a very fancy dinner, but she was like worried. She didn't know where to go. You could tell she was like looking at everybody. She wanted to cry. She wanted somebody to talk to, that, right? And obviously me being one of the Hispanic girls there, like, she came to me because she's like, hi mija, ¿cómo estás? Blah, blah, blah. She was like, hi honey, how are you? What are you in here for? And I was like, oh, you know, just got stopped by the police, and like whatever. I explained to her, but I didn't tell her the full story. I just was like, oh, I have a warrant, that's it, you know. She's like, she's like, so you don't know what's gonna happen to you. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. Long story short, so I become like this lady's like best friend, right? Because she just starts telling me everything. I was like her bestie in there, and she started just spilling the tea, and she's like, oh, you know, this is like my 2nd time here. No, this is like my 3rd time here now. I've been here before, but I've had to like call my sister and like ask her to bail me out. But I know she's not gonna do that this time, because, like, you know, they always tell me to stop drinking, but it's just like every time I get back with my ex, it's like I start the same cycle, and like we argue and we fight, and it's like I've gotten DUIs before, and now this is my other DUI, and it's all because of him, because like I just had to leave his house and blah 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 blah. Girl, like, there was issues. Like, she fucking told me, and I felt so bad for her that she really had no one. Like, I knew then and there she was not gonna get out. She was not gonna get bailed out, and I don't know how long she was gonna be doing time for, you know, to be honest. They were probably gonna send her ass to prison for a while, maybe like a month, I don't know. So she does some phone calls, and like they're not answering, right? And she was like, I knew that wasn't gonna answer. I knew he wasn't gonna help me, and the thing is that we had fought, and like I started hating him, you know, because like he pissed me off, and I knew I wasn't supposed to hit him, but I'm fed up with you, like, get out of my face. We had been drinking, and we started talking about like the past, and like we should have never started doing that, and it just became like toxic. Like, he wasn't being like extra physical with her or anything like that, but like, point is that because they started arguing, she's like, at like around 2-3 in the morning, I decided to like just remove myself from this situation, and I went home. She's like, and I started driving, and like unfortunately I got pulled over. She's like, I've tried going to church, I've tried going to AA and everything, and like it just doesn't work for me. Like, I fall back all the time, and I'm like trying to just be supportive, because I felt so bad, because she's like breaking down and she's telling me all of this, and she's like doing this, like pulling her hair, and she's like crying, and she's like with her dress, she's like cleaning herself, right? And I'm like relax, like things are gonna get better, trust me. Like, well, you'll just probably have to see a judge, and hopefully he's not so mean. She's like, but thing is, this is gonna be my 2nd or 3rd. She said something like, I forgot, I can't remember the exact number. I think it was 3rd, right? So that's what she was stressing. Some girl I met there, like, she's hella cool. She's like, fuck this, you know, da la 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 guy, like, like I've been so loyal to him and which, you know, even after that, because I still like have her on Instagram and stuff, she is a loyal person. But like, you know, guys sometimes they, at the same time she's like, no, I'm gonna keep calling him because he's gonna bail me out, like he has to bail me out. And I feel like eventually he did. One of the girls was in there because she like for burglary, the other one was there because of drugs, and the other one was there also because she violated her like probation, and like she was pregnant, so she was scared that she was gonna do time because like that was the last chance her PO gave her. Understandable, people were worried, you know, especially the pregnant girl. And then the next day comes, I think like my dad and them came to see me, Marcos, all of them came to see me, and I'm like, I'm fine, don't worry about it, you know, you guys, I'll give you a call when I need to. It was nice of them for them to come see me, you know. I felt very nice, like it felt good, but I'm like, why are they wasting their time? Like, I don't want them to do that, you know, like this is my fault. If I would have been a little bit smarter and more responsible, like none of that would have happened, you know. But then comes Monday, luckily, right? And they're like, Catherine, and they get us ready, right? They call every single girl up that's gonna go see the judge or whatever, and they didn't call the lady. Like, I felt so bad. But only God knows why, you know, whatever. Maybe she learned her lesson this time, I don't know. So now they take us downstairs and they take us to this little place that it's also like a holding thing, and they separate the girls, right? And they put us in one group here, the other group in the other one, and whatever. Now we're in there and it's like they give us like our lunch or something like that, or our breakfast, I don't remember. And like it was so sad because one of the girls that had gone in there, I don't know, she was not in the place where I was at before. But she's all skinny, she's all pretty and cute, and like you could tell she's like so high viewed because like the entire time she was like yeah, like she was doing stuff like that, not trying to be like mean or tease or anything like that. I'm not trying to make fun of, I swear to God, but like she was just on it, right? And like it's crazy because like a lot of people were looking at her, some people were giving her the side. I just felt so bad. I tried to help her, but she was just too out of it. And like she dropped her sandwich, like she picked it up from the floor again and she ate it, like she gave no fucks. She went, she like then they started handcuffing us again, you know, like putting us in pairs and stuff. And like they put her with, I don't remember who, but not with me. And like she had to use the restroom, but obviously they're not gonna take the things off, right? And there's no privacy. So like the girl that she was with kind of went with her, and like she did her thing, like she used the number, you know. And then she went and she just like wiped and they left. She didn't wash her hands, just FYI. And then you could tell the girl was like, oh, but you could tell she was getting aggravated and annoyed, but she didn't want to fight her, you know, because she understood how she was like not on her right, you know, mind. And so then like they take us in the bus, we get to the courthouse, they put you again in like another little cell-like looking thing with a bunch of other girls that are coming from prison that also have to see the judge or whatever. And dude, when I tell you that some of us girls are so loyal that, ugh, some of you men don't even deserve it, you know. Some of these women had kids and they took the rap for their men, so that, it's just. And then luckily I didn't need to see the judge. So the officer came and he's like, you know what, Ms. Hernandez, the judge doesn't want to see you, don't worry about it, time served, you're done, you know, you're good. And I was like, so what happens now? He's like, just come on Monday, come whenever you want to the office, and then you'll figure things out by then, you know, clear your stuff. And I was like, okay. And yeah, I got out. It was probably like 2-3 p.m. I don't remember what time it was. My dad picked me up, and then yeah, and then come to find out, dude, my dumbass did not talk to the officers when I was in there to tell them that I needed to have the form. I wanted to sign the form saying that I served my time. So because I didn't do that, guys, the joke was on me, and I had to pay so much money, and it was so annoying because it was just annoying. But hey, that is what happened. That was what happened the time I got arrested. And yeah, my heart goes out to all the girls, though. I feel so, I hope that you guys are smart enough not to drive without your license, and make sure you're on top of that, because it's no joke and no one needs to be spending so much money giving it to the government and stuff, you know what I mean? Anyways, but thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, make sure to live life happily and grateful. Bye.